Hey guys, it's Vanessa, and this is Tri-State Time Machine, and you're not going to believe it, but I've got some really fun guests today.
Hey y'all, I'm Alisa.
And I'm Samantha.
And we're Watch for Deer.
I love it. I'm so excited to have you guys on.
We're excited to be
here. And I don't
here.
even feel like I'm having it on. I feel like we're like a collab situation right
I
now.
know,
Like,
it's so
yes,
awesome.
yes, it's so fun.
It's so fun.
So excited to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your podcast and how you ended up even starting it.
Okay, so let's go back to COVID because that was good times. Am I right?
That's
Am I right?
That's kind
That
of
was a
where
good
ours
time.
started
The world
too.
shut
so,
down.
Yes.
So I had started listening to podcasts, never was a podcast person before ever, and started listening to Morbid. Ash and Elena, love them.
Which
like
is
they're
fantastic.
my podcast
Yes,
heroes. Like
they really
I would
are awesome.
shit my pants to do something with them.
Maybe we need to do one of those really weird, like,
I know.
sharing this TikTok
Like,
every
hey, can
day
you
until they notice
please?
us.
I know. Hashtag share. Be like, Morbid podcast. We want on.
Yes. Do that and Crime Junkie, and then my life will be made.
I know, right? But I was like, that would be so fun. It was like,
Yes.
me and Sam could totally do that because we've been friends for over 20-some years.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
been friends
I
a
love
long
that.
time.
And so I messaged her and I'm like, hey, bitch, you want to do a podcast with me? She was like, no,
I
ma'am.
was like, no, I don't want to do a podcast. I work already so much. Who wants to do a podcast? Like, who wants to do that?
Right. That's kind of how I felt in the beginning when WG had asked me to come on. I'm like, I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about any of this.
And then too, like with the setup when we were sitting on the couch, so she comes over that night. We always hang out together. She comes over and we're talking back and forth like
Right.
friends do. And she said something, I said something, I don't know what it was, and our husbands started laughing. Like they thought it was the funniest thing.
I love
Lisa
that.
started laughing, and I was like,
And I
what?
said, why won't
What's
you
so-
do the
I couldn't
podcast with
understand
me?
what's so funny what I had said. And
Yes.
and Clinton, her husband, was like, that right there is the very reason you all have to do this because
Yes.
Alisa is serious, like not super serious, but she is out there. She's meaner than a
Right.
stropped-eyed snake. I'll just tell
I
you
love
is what
that.
she is. She is super mean.
Little ornery.
You gotta
Little
be when you're a
ornery.
Wayne County girl,
Little
honestly.
But
ornery.
I'm not. And
Yeah.
things make my face turn red and my neck turn red. And she tells me
She's
stuff
such a damn
sometimes,
prude.
And I just can't with her. Like
I love it.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how we got here.
So it's a great dynamic.
It
then.
is. It is.
So I've got to be honest with our listeners. We started talking as soon as we got in here, and then we were like, hold on, wait a minute, we got to be recording
need to
because
get
this is
this.
good stuff. But we were talking a little bit, and you said that you had listened to the podcast, you wanted to get it started, you wanted Samantha to be on, and she said absolutely not to
Yeah.
begin with. So what was the defining moment when she says, okay, let's do it?
I really
Was
had
that
to sell
night?
it.
That
It was
was
that
it.
night. I
It
had
was
to
that
sell it.
night.
I was like, listen, all you have to do is show up.
Yeah.
Just
is
show up. I'll mic you up. I'll bring the story. I do all the research, all the producing. Her pretty little ass just shows up.
I love it.
She said,
That's
I
all
love
she
it.
does.
All you have to do is
Hey, that's the
react.
best gig.
I mean,
She's-
that's it.
But
That's
now,
the best gig.
We've been doing it for a year and a half.
Over,
It'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
2 years in
It'll be
October.
2 years in October.
And I do bring
Oh, that's
some
exciting.
stories. The last
Yeah.
one we did, and we really liked
I
this.
like the two truths and a
The
lie.
two
Yeah,
truths
so
and a
that was
lie.
really
fun.
fun.
It was so much fun. Did you like my Easter eggs
I
that I put
did.
in there?
I did. I liked it a
And
lot.
So I'm working on another one of those right now, but it
Yeah.
takes me a while because
Yeah.
of what I do.
Absolutely.
And I'm a teacher. I'm a
Yeah,
school teacher.
yeah.
But so it takes me a while to get, to where I can do that. And I know that you all know too. Like, it's not like these stories just fall in our lap.
And you
It's
have to always
research.
It
you,
does.
you have to always do like even extra research. I feel like because so many people have tried their hand in true crime storytelling. It
have
doesn't
to
even
be
have to be
thorough.
podcasting. It
Yes.
can be like YouTube videos. There, like it was funny because I was messing with AI yesterday. I told the ladies I use AI here and there.
Love
so
AI.
so
AI
I
is
mean
pretty
it's
cool.
it's a genius tool. It really
It
is.
a genius.
But I was messing around with it, and I was like, oh, for shits and giggles, I'm just going to put the Fredrick in here and see what happens. Because I had a few stories that I wanted to share with you guys and your listeners, but I was like, I want to see what else comes up. So I put it in, and the story that came up was so far-fetched, and then it was like, and for more information, use this YouTube video. Is the mom water good?
Oh my gosh.
So my listeners, I've talked these ladies into drinking mom water. They know that I love it. So
Lemon blueberry.
I'm glad that you guys are liking it. It's a faint taste, the flavoring, and there's no carbonation. That's why I like it.
That kind of shocked me at first, like when I was
Yes.
like,
You're
it did her
waiting
too.
for
I
the-
was waiting
Yes.
for it, and I was like,
Waiting for the
this is-
bubbles. Yes.
So
That's
we're
why I like
going
it.
To the liquor store after this.
Oh,
and
you
get
have to get some mom water. Yes. Yeah, and I'm drinking some Cutwater lime margarita. I had never had those before, but
that's good.
God, 12.5 alcohol content. Maybe I might be like a white girl wasted by the time we're done with this.
Those are always the best
What is
shows.
the alcohol on this?
I'm not even sure. I just know that I like
4.5.
them.
Oh, this is like a beer.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's like a beer. It's like
Yeah.
a Michelob.
Could you imagine if they did the mom? Hold on. Could you imagine if they made the mom water a 12.5 alcohol content?
I mean, we would all be wasted. Like, so we have an
and
in-ground
the
pool.
toddlers would just be
Yes,
running
and
amok.
the kids would just be running
Running
amok. So we have an in-ground pool. So I struggle with drinking water. I don't know if you girls do or not, but oh my God, I'm all about
Not
the
me.
dehydration.
I drink
Like,
water so
it's
much.
it's a life problem. I do not drink enough water.
agree.
So for these, I'm like, you're drinking water too. That's always my selling point. I'm like, listen, you're hydrating as
It
you're
says
drinking.
right on it, water.
So like I'll lay in the pool and just drink them all day.
Just like
Well, I
it says
did
on it,
Stumble
water.
back out.
And I did bring you some Kirkwood.
Yes, I'm excited to try
and
it.
I talk about this on the podcast all the time.
Yeah.
I'm wanting them to. I just want Kirkwood to love me too because I love them.
Because
so
you
much.
love them so much.
So
Now, where are they based out of?
West Virginia, baby.
Oh,
We're gonna try to go up and do a
nice.
tour.
We love the West
this
Virginia
summer.
wine. So the
Yes.
strawberry wine, it is 11% by volume.
Ooh.
Chill this when you get home.
Okay.
It is not like if you don't like wine, you're going to love this.
Okay.
It's it's strawberry wine.
I love
How can you
that.
not
Yes,
love it,
I love it.
right?
Thank you for the
So,
gift so
yes.
much. All right, so let's get back to talking about podcasting because we
Yeah.
were like deep in it when we decided
I
to hit
know,
record.
We do
I know.
sidetrack.
Yes, we get sidetracked. So I told you guys a little bit about my story and how WG invited me, and I ended up, after he passed away, here I am. I told my listeners in my last episode, I kind of did an update episode. I don't know if you guys listened to it or not, but I just had a lot going on, so I hadn't recorded for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And you always feel like you owe it to your listeners to give an update as opposed to just jumping
Absolutely.
in like nothing ever happened.
And that's what we do,
do.
because we find, well, I mean, we're moms, we work full time. So there's
Yeah.
times where we'll go. I think we've went as long as a month. They're like, hey, we're still here. Like,
yes, we're here.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy busy or
Right.
sickness or,
And it's hard.
family
Member
emergencies.
pass away
Yeah.
in the winter and stuff, but I got stopped. I told her, I was like, Alisa, I'm buying Cheetos in the Dollar General and get stopped. And they're like, when are you putting out an episode?
Yeah, and they're asking, they're like, are you going to put out a
Yes.
new episode? And
Yeah.
we're like,
You
as
just
soon as
gotta get some.
everybody's healthy and
Right.
it's
Do it.
very hard to get together, but we're trying really, really hard to be consistent with at
And-
least one a week.
And it's hard to decide what the story is because you're always worried, is this going to be as interesting to my listeners as it is to me? That's a
Right.
big thing I struggle with, like really trying to decide what are we going to do it on.
That's me
So-
too. It takes forever to decide, but I'm a reader. Everybody, all of our listeners know I read a lot.
I'm a big reader too.
So a lot of my research comes from books.
Mm.
So it's not just Wiki, it's not just Google.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it comes from a book, and it takes me time to
To
read
get all
the
that
book,
research,
and then I
right.
have to put it into my own words.
Absolutely.
So I still use Wiki, I still use Google, but the majority of my research comes from books.
I love
and
that.
sometimes I'll use 2 or 3 books.
So I
it's-
have a book sitting right over there called The Gate to Westmoreland, and it's the complete history of the Westmoreland part of
Yeah.
Huntington. You'll have to borrow it because it's got some really cool stories.
Oh,
in it.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's got like the graveyards and how they all started and the families that founded it.
Yeah.
And a lot of those stories, Huntington Park or Greater Huntington Parks and Recreation uses a lot of the stories that are in that book for their ghost tour
Oh,
that they
that's
do each
cool.
year
Yeah.
at Spring Hill Cemetery. So
That's very
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool. But my grandmother-in-law bought that for me as a Christmas gift a few years ago, and it is like my go-to for everything. I love it so
That's
much.
awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have to check
Because
it
most
out.
of the people that like kind of founded Huntington, they lived in Westmoreland because Westmoreland was like the wealthy place to live because there was so much industry going on.
Yeah.
So everyone wanted to live like right outside the industry area. So they lived like down north, like
Short
close to Cannon
commute,
Park and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. But you'll
Very
have to
cool.
borrow that because you'll like it, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, so this is so fun. And we kind of decided, I mean, what, like 2-3 weeks ago, like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
And we made it happen.
We were like, we should totally
do
get
it.
together. Let's
Yes,
just dive
absolutely.
in, get together,
Absolutely.
record some stuff together, and
And
see
you know
what
we're
happens.
Talking too. There's not a whole lot of women who do this.
There's really not.
not.
No.
There's really not. And like the few that do that have had success, I feel like they had success because they already were in the industry. Like not
Yes,
so much
yes.
That makes
podcasting,
sense.
but like criminal
TV or
background,
radio or
something yeah,
yes.
something to that extent. So it is hard to break through, and it's hard as a woman to I feel like sometimes to be taken seriously. Like, have you ever found that, like, do you guys do guests often?
Sometimes
We've had a couple.
Okay.
We've had my friend Adam on. He's an ATF agent.
Oh,
Listen,
nice.
I called him a marshal by accident, and he sent me.
Ooh.
He sent me this package. He was like, "Sammy, I'm an ATF agent," and I was like, "I'm so sorry, Adam. You know, my apologies, friend." He mailed me this package. It is an ATF agent koozie, an ATF agent calendar,
Stickers.
ATF agent stickers.
You'll never
Like,
forget.
No.
You'll never forget.
No. I actually don't even know if I actually apologized to him over doing that. So again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
But yeah, we've had some guests, and I have some contacts too that, like, if I, like, in certain places around here that if I need, like, some information, maybe not, it's not Huntington, but just maybe close, not the tri-state area,
Gotcha.
that, you know, give me some info sometimes.
Yeah,
little
absolutely.
inside.
You know, little
inside.
steering
I love
me
it.
in the right
Sneaky
direction.
sneak.
I have found, and this may be useful to you guys if you're not already doing it, so I might not be telling you anything you don't already know, but I have found for true crime especially, because I love it so much,
Yeah, me too.
that the local, like, groups that do, like, ghost hunting and stuff like that, that's
Yes.
where so many good stories come from, that
Yes.
you find out about the stuff that don't hit the news, you know, because there's so many things that happen around here that never make the waves of radio, TV, anything.
Right.
Well, I do a different perspective on that
Yeah.
because I'm a chicken. So I will say that, and I don't believe in anything. Like, I don't believe
Ignorance
in
is
ghosts
bliss.
I don't believe in ghosts or anything.
I
like
didn't
that.
until I lived in the Fredrick.
Nope.
I never did.
But I lean towards not doing any.
She's a skeptic,
We have
for
done
sure.
stories in Huntington if they're closed cases. You know,
Yeah.
we've talked about Samantha Burns and
Yes.
all of that and stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
But if it's an open case,
Yeah, we don't touch it.
that's a no man.
Yes,
because I am
I'm
not
with
going
you.
up into the Walmarts and
And
somebody
get
being
shot
like,
or something.
There's Samantha. And
Well,
she said something she shouldn't have
especially-
said.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna
that's a
say,
hard
especially when those
pass for
killers
me.
are still out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
that.
I had, and I don't know if he still listens, but you know how, like, when you have a guest, they'll, like, catch up and, like, listen to your recent
Yeah.
episodes, whatever. But he came on, and he was a paranormal chaser, a ghost chaser, whatever, and he was really into it, and he had really cool equipment, and, like, and I loved hanging out with him, and I loved his stories. But he was like, "Let's talk about da 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 da," which I'm not even going to repeat it because, again, I'm like you, it's a no go.
That's a no-go.
It's a no-go for me.
I can almost guarantee I know exactly who you're talking about.
Probably, because so he's like, yes.
Yes.
So he's like, let's do it. Let's jump right in. Da, da, da. And we're sitting right out here outside the podcast
No.
studio talking. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And he's like, listen, I've gone to the site. I've done this. I've done that. We've done. And I was like, no,
No.
sir.
Okay, you know the person I said that said to tell you hi?
Yes.
Him and I had just talked about it a little bit back and forth, and no, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Right.
I am not.
Right.
No.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, and what's funny is, speaking of the one you told me to say hello, where I run Safety Town, I work with so many cops, and I'm so thankful for it because they look out for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, we had an incident at Vinson where the principal was kind of attacked by,
Yes,
like,
I
a grandmother
remember that.
and a
Yes.
son-in-law or
Yes,
something,
Yes.
which was
Isn't
crazy.
that scary?
But the school went on lockdown. But thank God, the person you mentioned and another gentleman both text me, and they were like, "Hey, we've got eyes on Carly. That's my daughter. We've got eyes on Carly. Everything's fine. Don't panic." And I'm like, "Hold
Oh,
on."
thank God.
Well, you would think that, but I didn't know anything was going on.
Oh,
so
so
I
you
just
just
get
got
that
that-
text,
Ooh,
and
that
I'm like,
message.
"What is happening?" And I just happened to be passing by Vincent at the time coming home, and there is cops everywhere,
Oh,
state
gosh.
troopers, there's an ambulance, like, it's all this stuff. And I'm like panicking. I'm like, what is going on? But I know enough from these guys, and I'm thankful for it. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to bang on the, you know what I mean?
Right.
I know they've got it under control, and I trust them.
Yeah.
But it is so nice having friends that have that ear to the community.
You know, that's what I was going to say. Isn't it awesome to be in a community too, like Huntington or where
Yes.
we're from, Wayne,
Yes.
Genoa, Dunlow,
Yeah.
Yes.
to where you do have people out there.
Yes.
that
Everybody
say-
watches your back.
That watches your kids, and they
Absolutely.
watch your children like, you know, they're going to watch mine
Mhm.
or hers.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean,
Exactly.
that's a blessing. I love living.
It really is. And I love, like, at Safety Town especially, and I hate that I keep bringing it up, but it's such a big part of my life. But, like, I love getting random people's kids in, and you see them, and you're like, oh my God, you're so and so's baby. Like you have to be because you look just like them.
You can see.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they act like them, like the whole thing. Like
Being a
so.
school teacher, I'm telling you, their kids, and I can be like, oh, I know exactly who
Yes.
your brother is.
Like,
I know who your mama
I know
is.
brother, mama, I know
Yes.
grandma, I know them all. So don't play with me. Yes.
It's all the time,
I always tell my
yes.
kids, I'm like, I was like, that's all right. You do what you want to do, but I tell
I
you,
got
I
eyes
got
out
eyes
there.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I love
They'll
it.
come home and I'll ask them, and they're like, how did you know that? Who told you? I'm like,
For
my
me to
little
know and for
secret,
you to
babe.
never
My
find
little
out.
secret.
Yes, absolutely. So what is, I'm going to interview you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're more than welcome to do it to me if you like.
Okay.
What is probably your favorite episode that you've ever done?
Mine is easy. It's probably going to be Willie Picton Part 2.
Okay.
We laughed. It took us 45 minutes
I can't.
to get through.
Now I have to listen to this one when I get
You
home.
are.
You're going to have
We'll
to
have
listen to
to-
Willie Picton Part 1.
One.
but
Is it long too?
The part that she's talking about is within the first 5 minutes of Willie Picton Part 2.
I'll have
Okay.
to pull out the timestamp on it, but
Okay.
I said some things that it was inappropriate.
It's
didn't
okay.
mean to
I
say
didn't
it,
mean to
though.
say it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
And
probably
I
we laughed
lost
literally
it.
45 minutes.
And that's everything, though. That's
It's
for
so
having
funny.
joy
Oh
doing
my
this,
gosh.
like, is everything. It really is.
It is.
But when you're talking about a serial killer, it's a little inappropriate when we start busting out laughing.
Yeah.
Right,
We're like, we
right,
swear
right,
we
right.
are not laughing at this situation.
So my favorite episode, besides that one, which really isn't like you disgusted me when you said what you said.
Now I can't wait to listen.
It is horrific what she says. And I was just like, my mouth dropped down on the ground. I was like, did you just ask me if I could smell that? Like, and she lost it. I couldn't breathe. I could
We
not
were
breathe.
crying. And we think we would collect ourselves. And the moment
Just
I'd hit
lose it
play and
again.
look at her, she'd bust out laughing again. She was like, I'm so sorry.
I love it. I love
Well,
it.
my favorite would be Mamie Thurman.
Okay.
And it's one of the older ones.
Oh
It
yeah,
sounds
that's a
not
good
that
one.
great or
Sounds
anything.
awful.
Yeah.
But she said, like, the story of Mamie Thurman is she's up from Logan. She was kind of a trollop, and she was murdered. And they don't know who
Okay.
actually murdered her. There could have been, like, some guys that she was fooling around with, maybe a woman, a wife, or
A
whatever.
scorned
jealous.
wife, yeah.
But when they found her in the middle of, like, a field or something.
It was she was berry
But
picking like in the
there-
bushes
it
is
was
how
all
he
good.
found
so, like,
her.
really kind of half-assed.
But
yeah.
she tells me that they put, how did you say it, Alisa? You
There
were-
was a guy he was I think mute,
You said a deaf mute.
a deaf mute guy
This
who
is-
stumbled up on her berry picking.
Oh.
Okay. So what I heard her say, and that's what she said.
You're so
Was
serious right
a-
now.
She's dead serious.
Yeah, I'm so serious. What I heard was he was blind and he couldn't hear. So all I could picture is Helen Keller up on the
Stumbling through the
And I was
through
like-
the berry patch.
I was
So
just
under the
like,
berry
she was-
patch. Yes.
She was
why would they put him picking berries? Like, I wasn't even worried about
She was
Mamie
so-
Thurman's
Like that
mangled
poor
berries.
guy.
pissed off that somebody
Yes.
would put this kid out in a
Yes.
berry
I was
patch.
so mad.
I
was
would be
I
too.
was like, what's
That's
he
so
doing, like,
sad.
slapping his hands for berries. Like, how does he even know he's supposed to be picking the berries?
Right.
I'm so confused.
I just
Like,
looked at her like she was a complete
and
idiot.
she didn't know
I
what
was
I
like,
was talking about.
I-
I
Right.
didn't know what she
Right,
I,
right.
I couldn't understand why she couldn't understand why I was so appalled by the situation
Right.
we were in.
I'm like,
That's so
can't
funny.
speak, can't see or whatever. And
yeah.
it
She
was,
was like, no, Samantha, he could see. He was deaf and mute.
He
And I
couldn't-
was like,
that's
"You're
couldn't
so
such an
hear,
idiot."
couldn't talk. She's like,
I love
please
this.
cut that out. I'm like, no, ma'am.
Yeah, I did ask her.
This moment right here is what makes me really toy with the idea of doing like live recordings.
Oh yeah, we'd
Like,
love to do a live
I would
show.
love to do it, but at the same time, I'm like, that's kind of why I love podcasting. That you don't have to get dolled up, you don't have to look
Yeah.
decent. You can
Right.
you
Oh,
can come in like
for
looking
sure.
like you're death
Yeah.
on death's door.
We're usually in
In our
our
pajamas.
jammies and
It's
look really rough.
Yeah, we look really
So
rough.
yeah, I have to come into town. So, and I say into town like I'm far, but I'm not. But where I have to come in here, and then sometimes I see family where family owns a building.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to look halfway
But
decent.
it's so nice.
But when I
think our studio
record-
is so nice.
So
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Hankins family for letting us use co-work. So
It
I,
is.
Yes.
I mean, it's really
amazing.
Like, we're
Yeah,
super,
super
jelly
awesome.
Of you.
Yeah.
So,
Super jelly
well,
about
so the
this,
backstory, I didn't get to tell you guys this before we started recording. I meant to, but I got sidetracked because that's what I do. You know, the ADHD, it's like squirrel. But this studio exists because during COVID, I always say their name incorrectly. It McElroy brothers, or
Okay.
I think that's how you say their names. but they have a really big podcast. And
Oh, my daughter. Do they play Dungeons and Dragons?
yes,
My
they have. They
daughter,
all. The whole
yes.
family has YouTube videos,
Yes.
like our channels.
Mhm.
Like they're really into it. But they're from here,
Mhm.
like originally.
And their dad a DJ?
And yes, so something like that.
Yeah.
And so don't quote me on that because I could do something, but I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. Yes.
Well, that's when we say in our podcast, like, you're like, oh, maybe.
Allegedly.
You do listen.
Yes,
Allegedly.
yes, I listen. So they wanted, while they were home during COVID visiting family, they wanted a place to record their podcast and had reached out to my husband's uncle. And he was like, sure, I've got the perfect place. So they built this
Yeah.
for them. And just kind of when it was over, they just kind of left their equipment, which there was like some other stuff here, but I didn't know how to work any of it,
Right.
so it could go. But they left their equipment and donated it. So when I was like, okay, I'm doing this podcast, the family member reached out to me and he was like, you know, we have a studio, right? And I was like, no. What are you talking about? Like, tell me more,
Yeah.
Tell me all about
That's
it.
awesome.
Say
So-
more. Say more.
Yes. So I was really excited, and I'm thankful that we have this because I have like these two wonderful mics. Cost more than probably my other 4 mics altogether,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and these amplifiers are like $129 a piece. I think, or something
The
like that.
equipment's expensive.
Yes,
It's expensive.
it's so expensive, and it's like one of those things where and I know you guys will relate because you're also married. It's one of those things where you're like, can I justify buying this for the podcast, knowing my ass is not making money?
Yeah.
I'm making people laugh, but I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
So, like, just justifying putting that money back into podcasting when you
Right.
love it so much.
Yeah.
I think for me, really, honestly, it's almost therapeutic. when we
It
get
It is
together.
very
I
therapeutic.
look forward to her coming, and like whenever we said, she shows up to my house. We may say, hey, we go straight to our studio downstairs.
I love that.
We sit down in our hot pink chairs, and we say nothing.
Ooh, I want hot pink chairs.
Like we say nothing to each other, and then when we start the podcast is when we start talking.
We hit
And
I love
record.
that. That's how WG and I were,
Yeah.
and it worked. And again, he had a background in radio from like college and stuff like that, so he already kind of knew that secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not. So like, it's not instinct for me to come in and be like, shut up, wait until I hit record. You know?
Right.
See, well,
yeah.
we've been friends for so long.
Yes.
It's fine for me to be like,
Yes.
hush.
Yeah,
you
we're
shut
like,
your
shut
mouth.
up, because I'd start saying something. She was like,
Yeah, that's what when you all were sitting
Yes.
here talking, I was like, "Oh, you're killing me."
she's like,
It's so good.
no,
I'm like,
hit the
I'm watching
record.
you two talk back and forth. I'm like, "Shut up, girl. This needs to be recorded. Don't
I
do
love
that
it.
to yourself."
Yeah, and like, so I was joking. I think I may have mentioned this to you guys, but I was joking with a guest host that I have often, Jason Arthur, and he was like, we have to stop hitting the end button when we think we're done with our guests because you get the best content
Oh, I'm telling you.
after the fact.
When you least expect
When
it,
you
you
least
get the best
expect
it.
content.
we won't say. I mean, we can say on here, I guess. Did you hear the outro of last week? What she did to me?
I did not. I'm listen, I'll admit it right now. When I get to the end of stuff, I'm just done.
Oh,
And I'll just turn the car off and go.
always listen to the outro. But the outro, she does like the first 3 things, and then she says something, and I scream.
She
I
was like,
Oh, I have to go back and listen now.
"Oh yeah."
I'll have to go back and listen.
definitely
I like to slip things in on her.
Yes,
You know,
I
for
love that.
authentic reaction.
Yeah.
I love
It
that.
was-
Her
yeah,
face got red. She got really like embarrassed, and there's
Really
nobody
embarrassed.
around.
Well,
So,
my mama listens to the podcast too. She's such a team player for me.
See,
what's
I
up,
have,
Patty?
Hi, mama.
I
And-
have a lot of listeners that are like of the older generation,
Mhm.
and
That's awesome.
I try so hard. And shout out to you guys because you're the real OGs, honestly, for putting up with my nonsense. But I try so hard to not drop the F-bomb, to not basically not be me because I was raised with all boys. So
Oh,
like I've got the
absolutely.
worst potty mouth in the world.
So,
So
with
I try to do
us,
better.
Like I say a lot of, we'll go bullshit. Like
Yes,
that.
yes,
You know,
yes.
We're bad about that. But I try.
we do
it's
try to
PG-13.
PG-13,
It's PG-13.
just
right.
because
Like I don't let
she's
the
a middle
F-bomb,
school teacher, and you know,
I don't let the
Right.
F-bomb or anything fly like that.
Right.
Which because there is people. I don't want to offend anybody.
Absolutely, and that's
You
my
know?
big thing. And I think my listeners sympathize with me because they just know that I am what I am, and I try to do so much better. And it was funny because shout out to Mark, really good friend of mine, Mark McNett. He is in, God, where is he at now? I don't remember where he's at, but anyways, he's originally from Texas, so he's a Texas guy, whatever. And he's like, "Hey, you're doing great. keep honing in on your skill set, but watch that mouth. He's like, you've got listeners that don't appreciate that. And I'm like, thank you. Like, 'cause I really do appreciate that, because sometimes I don't even realize that I've done it.
You're just so
you
used
really
to
don't.
being yourself that it's...
You really don't realize
And
it.
I typically, if I do let something like that slip, then when I go back and edit the software, I'll throw a beep in.
Yes,
and
that's
kind of
nice.
cut that out, just because, like I said, we try to be something that everybody can listen to.
And that's what I want. I want to ultimately, if I can be a better human, I want people to be able to turn my podcast on in the car when their kids are there and not worry about it.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm like, I can't help being who I am. This is me.
You know, since we're talking about the tri-state, my most favorite thing on Friday morning is listening to the dog at 7:00 in the morning, because it's their Friday. For some reason, when they do that, you know, that song, and at the beginning of it, they're like, okay,
it's finally
guys.
Friday.
Finally Friday.
Friday, yes.
But at the beginning of that, I was listening to it. Of course, I'm not offended at all. But, I mean, you're driving down the road and, like, some of the stuff that they put in there, these people saying, like, these little clips and stuff, it's dirty.
Yes.
It is dirty, and it's on the, I mean, it's dirty, Lisa. Have you heard it?
And it's borderline, It's borderline.
I
I've
mean,
heard it.
Yeah, it is dirty.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to try to quote it or anything.
Well, and
I'm
I
afraid
think-
I'll misquote, but I'm telling you, this Friday morning at 7:00, listen to it, because there's so much stuff, so much innuendos, like, maybe like a woman going, oh, wow, that is so big. Like, I mean, the first time I was like, what
and your eyes getting big as you said it. Like, and I think when you work with younger kids too, and like what you do with teaching, you notice it more than you would otherwise.
I think I do.
Especially when she was with middle schoolers, because they're the worst. Like,
but they're the best.
They're
the worst mouths though.
Like, I think like 6th grade is the sweet spot. Like I love some 6th graders.
Yeah.
They still want you to love them, and like they haven't really decided who they are
They
yet.
have not.
Yeah.
That's a sweet spot, I think, for school. What grade do you teach?
I teach right now. I teach 5th.
Oh, okay, so that's
But
a
I
good
did
one
middle-
too.
Yeah, I did middle school for 3 years last year. I did high school for like a hot minute.
no,
High schoolers
thank
are a
you.
no
I
for
did high
me.
school for a hot minute.
Yeah.
My spot is upper elementary, middle school though. That's
Yes.
where I really like it.
I always tell everyone that I'm so thankful, because 2nd graders just want to hug you and tell you you're pretty.
Aw.
They really do. That's all they want from you.
They won't even say that anymore. Now you cook.
Yes.
You cook, and you're
Yes.
Sigma,
Yeah.
and you're standing on business.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
don't be skibbity.
Bruh.
Don't be
it's-
skibbity.
don't
Yeah,
be
bruh.
skibbity.
Yeah.
You're alpha. Like, it's very bruh.
I tell my son
It's
he's
very
in
I have to
7th
Google
grade.
so much things. Like, it's really
You can
crazy.
just message me now.
You're like,
Yeah.
I've learned them.
Be like, what's this word mean?
I just, like, when they come
I
in
love
and say
it.
it to me, like, I go right back and say it
You
to
have
them,
to.
and it grosses them out
So they
bad.
quit.
They're
But
like,
they just shut up.
They're like, ew, Miss Stevens,
Cringe.
don't say that. I'm like,
I love it.
you know what? I am alpha. You're beta. It is what it is at this moment. And they're like, don't say that.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it so much.
That's great.
So, where do you guys see yourself? You said you're coming up on 2 years in October.
Yeah.
Which October is my birthday month, so I do like multiple
That's
episodes during October,
awesome.
and that's when I do my true crime stuff.
Yeah.
Because our podcast is not really true crime
Yeah.
based, so I take advantage of the birthday month and it being near Halloween, and I go balls to the wall, and hopefully
Well, then let's
everybody
get back
appreciates
together in
that.
October.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do
Just
that.
eat it
Let
up.
us give
Let's
you
do
a
it.
story.
Absolutely,
Let us give
absolutely.
you a
Let's do it.
story.
But what do you anticipate after the 2 year mark?
So I hope, we're continuously growing even, and like I said, we're not super consistent. We've been better lately about,
Yeah.
putting out one episode a week. That's our goal.
Mhm.
We're doing it for fun. So if that happens, that's awesome. If it doesn't, we try not to get too upset about it, because again, for fun, we're not
Yeah.
being paid.
We see a steady growth though. Like, we have never not had a week where we have not been
Haven't
growing.
picked up followers,
Oh,
or we
that's
haven't picked up downloads
amazing.
or streams. So as long as I'm seeing those numbers move, I'm pretty happy.
Like a few weeks ago, we were at 10,000. I think 10,000 downloads.
That's awesome.
Or 11,000.
Yeah.
And
So,
that's-
what program do you? Is it the same program that you use for editing that you can see your downloads?
No, Spotify produces all of my
You're gonna have to show me
analytics
that,
and stuff.
because I use another thing that I also pay for, called Captivate FM. And the way I'll show you, ladies, and it really doesn't matter to you guys at home. It's just a place where it gives you all of your data of
Yeah.
the downloads you've had today, yesterday, the last 7 days, last 28 days, last 90 days, and then all time, like for that particular episode. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but it's pretty cool. Like, it goes in, like, I'm on the Chairman's Club. Why couldn't I think of that earlier? Oh my gosh! But I'm on his. So he had 21 downloads today.
Okay.
And then, which he's a new one. He's like 4 episodes in, so he doesn't have like a crazy big. But I've got 3 different podcasts that I have on here because I tried to do one with my sister-in-law called Small Town Big Talk.
Yeah, we saw that.
And it was, so when we started, we were actually with a business called MediaWorks. Loved working with them. It was great. We did really well. We actually video recorded it as well, and he did really good with like getting little snippets and like little TikToks and stuff like that. But it didn't end up working out. We couldn't make it work. So I have it on here too, but it's so hard to find somebody that
you got to find a good dynamic.
You've got to vibe with them for one, but secondly, like just finding someone that they're in the same life space as you that has the time to make it up.
And it's a commitment.
It really is.
It
is. It absolutely is.
It's one of those things you can't say, yeah, I'll do it, and then not do it.
And then not do it. You have to show up.
Yes, you have to show up.
You have to show up. So
because we'll do that. You know, we usually try to record usually on Sundays, but sometimes, you know, we drop on Tuesday mornings about 5:30. And there's been a lot of times that we have recorded Monday evening. I've come straight home.
Yeah.
I've edited it, produced it, listened to it in my car to make sure the audio sounds okay.
Yeah.
For it to release the very next morning because,
awesome.
you know, we're so busy with baseball and doing everything. It's hard.
You got to love
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and I would love to edit our own, but it seems so hard to me. It seems like such a barrier that I just don't know that I could get. So, like I said, I do pay a company out of Ohio to do it, and they're fantastic. They are so good. Circle 270 Media, shout out to you guys. So thankful for you. But again, I'm paying for them.
Yeah.
I'm then paying for Captivate FM. I'm paying, you know what I mean? So it's one
it all adds up.
It does add up. So like for us, we try to hit once a month. And I think the listeners want more than that.
Yeah.
But for me as a working mom that's contributing to a household, it's hard to make that money up here out of thin air for a hobby, essentially.
Yeah. Well, my kids are adults.
It's a little rough. Oh,
So,
nice.
My kids are
I have one adult and one at home.
You have one. Well,
Yes.
I mean, my youngest is 20. So
Okay.
she's at home. But my oldest lives in Baltimore.
Mm.
And my other one's a registered nurse here in Huntington.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't
Proud
have,
mom moment.
Yeah, I don't have the kids at home that need me as much like she does.
Right. See, I've got
Like little
a 12-year-old. Yes. And then somehow I got voluntold to do volleyball. So now I'm a volleyball coach. I know nothing about volleyball. Like I'm learning each game. Like we won today. So shout out to my girls. They all kicked ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm like, what else can life throw at me? Like what else can I be doing?
Yeah.
'Cause it's like wife's not enough, mom's not enough, work
we wear
is not
so
enough.
many different hats.
We really do. We really, really, really do. Tell me a little bit about your favorite. I know you said your favorite episode to record, but your favorite story that you got into.
Favorite story I got into. Oh my gosh.
Like one that just was like
that blew my mind.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I've not covered it yet because I don't think she can handle it.
You can't.
Okay.
No, you're not doing that story. I told you I wouldn't even sit there for it, Alisa.
But
I'm not even doing it. I'm not even there.
the toy box
ma'am.
killer?
No, ma'am, I'm not doing
Oh,
it.
I've never even heard of them.
No.
It's a very rough one.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
And I've kind of talked to her a little bit about it. That's probably the most disturbing
So you're very
story that
intrigued by it.
very intrigued by it, that
I'm
somebody
not.
can be that depraved.
Right.
So I will do it at one
So
point,
here we go.
but I
think
can't
this
do
is-
it with her.
Okay, but here, this is fantastic since you're mentioning that because that's a no, ma'am, for me. Because that's not happening. But
Right.
But what if you set in and take my place that
There we
day?
go.
Well, I
Because
can
she's-
guest star. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is dying to do it.
I am.
I would
I'm going to
love
do
that.
it.
And
I'm
I've
gonna do
never
it.
heard of this one,
It's
so I need to do some
hardcore.
research.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
our-
So you just got to show up.
All I do is show up. I don't know
Okay.
about anything.
All right, so I'm
except-
not researching.
No.
But
So
the toy box killer, when she mentioned it a year ago, Clinton, the way his eyes were.
I had my
was like-
husband listen to it when I went to Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah.
It's like a 6
and
hour
then
drive.
Something popped
Yeah.
up
And he
on
listened to
TikTok
it.
about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's what Alisa was talking about." Hell no, no, that's a hard pass for me.
I love
She's
it.
dying to do it.
Yes,
think you
absolutely.
should
I would
do
love.
it with
I would
her.
love to do
Absolutely.
it. 'Cause I love true crime.
Absolutely.
Like, it's my go-to. It's on the TV. It's on my podcast.
I'm
it's
super
in my
excited
books.
you've not heard of this one because I will blow your damn mind.
I
Yeah,
actually think that it's
haven't.
so bad. Like, what I worry about is I think that it's so bad that I may actually lose my job over it. Like,
Oh,
the
I see what
stuff.
you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I see
don't
what you're
even
saying.
feel comfortable.
But I toned down. Again,
No,
we
she
are
does tone down
PG-13.
stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
we did Fred and Rosemary West,
Okay.
and that was a very rough story.
Yes.
tone
She
it
broke
down.
out in hives, even with me kind of bringing it down a little.
Oh, wow.
Like,
So you really just don't fool with us.
No, she doesn't. So that's the whole premise of our episode is
Yeah.
I do the research, and I bring it to her, and she doesn't like true crime. She doesn't know what story.
I love
And that's
that,
why I
though.
want video.
Yeah.
Is because some of the things that
Some
I
of
say,
your reactions
her
are so
face
good. Yes.
is priceless.
Yes, absolutely.
And I say stuff too, and just like now, even though we have these microphones in front of us and stuff, I'm not actually thinking that we're recording. I'm just sitting
right.
here
We're just
talking.
sitting here
Yeah.
talking to our girlfriends.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
So my
That's always what I
reaction-
tell people.
Yeah.
I'm like, just chill. I know there's
Yeah.
a mic in front of you. I said, but just act like it's not even
Yeah,
there,
it's
which
not
is
even
hard
there.
for people.
Yeah.
But once
But
you
when
get
you
used
do
to
you
it,
don't pay any
it's
attention
not
to
even
it.
there.
When we
right.
first started, it was a little awkward, I feel like.
But it was, but not now.
Not now,
But,
it's just natural.
but
Right.
sometimes, like I say stuff like, I mean, on the last episode, I called her a bad word and didn't even realize that I yelled it. Like I
It
yelled
rhymes with
Right.
chick.
on the- I was like, you chick. Like, so you had to.
But it
it's an
starts with a
outro.
Right,
D.
right.
But my
Yes.
favorite episode.
Well,
that
don't be one,
that
and you won't get
intrigued-
called one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Don't be a chick. You won't get called a chick.
No, ma'am. She was like, Liz, she just flushed red. She was like, no, ma'am.
I had to whisper into the microphone. I couldn't even say it. I was like, we're not doing
She's like, no, we are not. No.
We're not doing this.
this. Mine's Brian Schaefer out of Columbus. I'm
Okay.
obsessed.
Yes.
Obsessed with it. You know
Yes,
the story.
yes.
That is a good one.
Where is he at?
Yeah.
Where is he at? That's
Where
the
is
one
he?
that I had the ATF agent
Okay.
on with me, and we were talking about it, which up to the point him and I had very a lot of conversations on the phone, like planning it. I was talking to him about it, which he's not in that area at all.
Right.
So I was just telling him the story and some of my thoughts on it,
Mhm.
and he was going, and he was like, okay, so that could be true, but like we were talking about how the cell phone would ping off different towers,
Right.
and I would ask him, well, how did that ping off that tower if it wasn't on? And so it was more of an explanation, and he was teaching me while we
Well,
were
it's
doing
nice to get that perspective.
It was.
Yes.
That's
Just
really
with
helpful.
his knowledge
Right.
kind of setting in on it.
Which
For
you-
sure.
So it was good.
If you listen to that one, actually, that one is on YouTube. That's actually on YouTube.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
one of the
We did a
first ones
few
we
on
did.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you watch it, when I got there, she was not long for this world and on this sore. So the night before, we had went out with friends.
Probably shouldn't party the night before
Betty
we
Lou
record.
here drank too much.
well, it happens.
I get there the next day. We have this guest come on, which I adore Adam, but still respect a guest. Super excited. She is laying in the fetal position.
Dude, I've
was a
never
rough
been so
night.
sick.
It was a rough
was
night.
green.
And I wore a
She was-
green shirt, and at one point, you could just see me get up, take my headphones off, and I'm like, I'm out. Like, I just walk off
She puppy paws in the floor in front of me. I'm not joking. She
with my
puppy paws.
puke bucket.
I'm
and a
talking
cold
to
rag.
Adam about Brian Schaefer, this missing guy, and about
Yes.
she's vomiting so hard in
Oh
front of me. And I
no.
was just like, what is
I'm so
happening right now?
sorry.
And I couldn't
I'm
walk
so
away
sorry,
and
Adam.
go upstairs.
have.
I
You could have
could.
absolutely
No, you don't
walked
know how to
away.
run this shit.
No, what? I didn't want you
Right,
to
that's
run
what I
me.
tell Jason all the
So-
time. I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody knows how to run
That's
this. No
what
one
I
knows
said.
the
I was
buttons
like, I have
and
to
the
stay. I
sounds.
have to stay close to make sure that it's
Right.
recording
But
and
you can watch
everything.
her on that and on the YouTube video too if you go, because she's on there for like 20 minutes. But if
I
you
start off real
If you
strong.
watch it, I wore a hat that day because I happen to think that I look adorable in a hat.
I
And
love a
was
do.
hat.
and was
I
gonna
love a
be
hat.
on the YouTube, and I had a little
Yes.
hat on. It had American flag on it. And I was like,
Yes.
America, yes. Adam's
Cute.
going to be here. We're representing. She looked like
Death.
Oh,
I did.
Her hair
no.
was everywhere.
I had it pulled up.
Pulled
Like,
her
I didn't have no makeup on. Like she put
And you see how tiny her little face is?
She put her hat
hat
on
on
her.
my head.
Twisted her hair up, and I was like, I grabbed her by the
Let's
cheeks.
get you presentable,
That was
sweetheart.
probably one of the funniest ones looking back now that we
I grabbed
recorded.
her by the cheeks, and I was like, "You got this, boo boo. Okay, I just need you to sit here and hit these
Just
buttons
hit
'cause I don't know
what
to
just
do."
just hit the button.
So what is
Just do
Adam
what you
doing
have
the
to
whole
do.
time?
Well,
just
knew,
like
'cause I told
sitting
him.
back like,
We
No.
warned him that I was
It's going
not
back-
well.
We're flowing just like this.
Yeah.
We're talking, but we're being more serious, because I'm really into
Because
this.
you're starting to get into the story.
But in
And,
the YouTube video, you can just see her bow out. Like, you can see, and
like, I'm setting up like this, and then you see my head kind of drop, and then I kind of drop like this, and then you see me take the headset off, and I just get up.
Yeah.
I'm like out.
Yeah.
What everybody don't know is that she's laying in the fetal position again
In front
me at
of the
my feet,
camera.
puking in a mop bucket.
Yeah, it was good
love
times.
your heart.
I swear.
Love
was
your
hilarious.
heart.
We have had the
Yeah.
best times.
It's
See,
the
that's so
best.
fun. That's kind of like the idea I had in my head with my sister-in-law. But we're like at we're at these different places in life.
Yeah.
So she's got a really young one at home.
Oh,
And it's
that's
hard for her,
hard.
and
It's
she
hard.
went through a breakup with like the child's father. So
Yeah.
like they're trying to figure out co-parenting on top of her trying to figure
It's a
out, can I
lot.
record, can
It's
I do
hard.
this? Yeah. So that's really what I had in mind.
Yeah.
I keep trying to like talk my sister into being on the podcast because I think she would be fantastic at it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's for me. And I'm like, are you kidding? We have the best dynamic. I'm
You
like,
do.
it'd be so
If
fun.
you can find somebody that has that good dynamic that you
Yes.
can just feed off each other, you're golden. It doesn't matter that you've, not ever done this before.
Absolutely.
That's all you need. Is
That's
just the
absolutely.
personality.
And it's so fun, like when you tell guests, I'm like scratching my bug bites to death here. I'm so sorry, girls. I look like I have meth scabs. Is what I look
It's
like.
if
I need
Elisa
some
was
chamomile.
doing that, I would look at her and be like,
Chamomile.
you got the HIV.
Yeah,
You got to
it
hear
looks
What
like
you
it.
got-
It
what you
looks
got
like
there on
it.
your arm, sissy
I
cat.
like it's really like scratching.
While
oh
she
my
swats at
gosh.
pecker gnats.
Oh, those are the
They
worst.
are the worst.
They
I
are
said
the
Pecker Gnat
worst.
one time on- the most feedback we've got from anything was a story.
You
because
said pecker gnat.
There was a pecker gnat that landed on my microphone, and I was like,
Yes.
pecker gnat out of here, and I was swatting.
So, did you guys discover that that's like a Wayne County thing, or?
I don't know. People were like, pecker gnat. You said
They had no
pecker
idea what we were
gnat."
talking about.
That's a thing.
Okay, so quick quiz. What's a palette?
A what?
Like if you say,
oh, a
like,
palette?
I was at Grandma's and we made a pallet in the living room.
Oh,
Do you guys know what that
It's
is?
like-
Yeah, it's like
A
your
bed. You made a-
comforters and your
Yes.
pillows, and you
Okay,
laying. You're
so
having
my
a sleepover.
husband gives me down the road because I'm always like, every time my sister has, or my sister, Jesus Christ, my daughter, every time she has like a slumber party or something, he's like, where are they all going to sleep? I'm like, on a pallet in the living room.
Right.
What are you talking
Yes.
about? And he's like, a pallet? We're going to go get some wood? Boo, boo, boo. And I'm like, shut up with your Huntington ass.
Yeah, it's
Go
Well,
get out of here.
Get out of here. Stop it.
You know, it's so funny
you
when
know
you
what I
go
mean.
and you look at different regions. Like, I have always, another word that's totally made me think of this is you all, I don't know if you've ever heard this, so I'm going to throw this
Okay.
out, is when a dog rolls in dead animal. We always said, oh
Oh.
my God, that dog is carny. It rolled
Yes.
in carn.
Yes.
Well, the word is carrion. Carrion is carrion.
Oh,
It's
it's
an actual word.
carn.
But we say carn. It's carny.
That's always what I
Or smells
thought
like
it
corn.
was.
So when I said that outside of our Appalachia
Area.
bubble,
Yeah.
they were like, what the hell are you talking
What are
about?
you talking about? Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So it's one of them
That's
Appalachian
a funny
words.
thing. And I think that's another fun thing that I've learned with podcasting is podcasting. These braces, I tell you, I can't wait to get them off. But people are so blown away by the words that we use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much so.
Yeah.
And I always think that's really funny. Another thing that people, and I've been listening to your laugh. I think you're in the same boat that I am. People love my laugh. When I laugh, they're like, your
I'm
laugh
like,
is the
I hate
best.
my
And I'm like, I
laugh.
hate it. It's the worst.
I do too.
Yes, I'm like, it's the worst. I was like, it's so embarrassing. It's mortifying.
Oh my gosh,
We
yes.
recorded with the mayor the other day, and he said, why do people tune into yours? I said, I'll be honest. I said, I'm pretty sure I think it's my laugh.
Yes.
I was like,
I've had
I
several
think
people
that I
like,
make people
"Oh,"
laugh
like,
with
I
my
love your
laugh.
laugh. And I'm
Yes.
like, really? Because I hate it. And if I could change it, I would. But
Absolutely.
it is what it is.
Well,
Yes.
I love both of y'all's laughs.
Well, thank you.
I think you're wonderful.
Oh,
Well,
we
that's
love
sweet.
you.
Yes, absolutely.
I really like when I make her donkey laugh, but she swears there's nothing that funny.
There's sometimes I can't catch my breath and it comes out like,
Yes.
like
Yes.
She's like,
it's awful.
Like, it's
Oh,
hilarious.
I've gotten to the point sometimes when we're recording that like I think I'm gonna pee myself, and I'm over
Oh my
here
gosh.
like legs crossed,
Doing the
pee
pee
dance, doing the pee dance, and I'm like, oh my gosh, stop making me laugh, stop making me laugh. So, do you guys have anything that you want to share today to be kind of, I know you guys do the true crime thing, so do you have a story prepared or anything, or do you just want me to share my story?
We just want to hear a little bit more. Samantha's story that she did, the two truths and a lie last week.
Yes, absolutely.
Kinda, I don't think I was aware. I've never been in the Fredrick, so and I wasn't aware that it was haunted. So that's
and I never believed in ghosts until living in the Fredrick. So yeah.
I just don't believe.
I never did, and like so, my grandmother was very superstitious, and you guys will have to share with me if you've ever had this situation before or had an old folk tell you about it. My grandma would always get after us if we were leaving the cemetery. Mm-hmm. Do not look back, because you're inviting the spirits to come home with you.
Oh shit! I've never heard that.
So that was something I've heard my whole life, right? So,
I've not heard that.
See you, Gramps.
So, like, I got to the point where I'm like, yes, exactly. So I got to the point where, like, I'm like, okay, this is just who I am. I don't look backwards when I leave cemeteries. And, you know, in Appalachia, like, there's so many things centered around a cemetery.
Yeah.
We have Sunday service once a year at the cemetery. Yeah. We've got Memorial Day we decorate for, Mother's Day, Father's Day. You've got all of these things that you are going to the cemetery for. And I didn't realize that there's other regions. They go to the cemetery once, like, to bury the person. That's it. Yeah. They don't go back. Like, that's where I go and talk to my grandma. Like, when I like have a lot going on, I literally drive my happy ass all the way past the DHHR, and I'm sitting out there talking to my grandma at her headstone, just carrying on, having a big conversation with myself. I probably look like a crazy person, and I know she's not there. I get that,
but it's something. But it's
she
something
keeps your
about
secrets.
Yes, you know what I mean. You can tell her your secrets, and she's gonna keep them.
Absolutely. But so I never believed in it, whatever. And then I met my husband, and his family owns the Fredrick building, so we moved in there right after he graduated high school. So that was in 2006. So we're living in the Fredrick. At the time, I had he was 4 or 5, my son, and we lived in this really small apartment with his sister, which was an old hotel room. So all of the apartments, for the most part, are old hotel rooms. So they're the exact same layout. So you walk in to your right front corner. There is a little bitty kitchen. Tiny little kitchen. Your living room. So you're walking straight into the living room. The kitchen's off to your right. You go to the left, and these are like double doors, but they're like louvered. So they don't like shut fully. Mm-hmm. So you go through the first set of louvered doors, and that was where my husband's sister's room was, that had the bathroom off of it to the right, same as the kitchen. And then you go one more louvered door, and that was our bedroom, like where I shared with my husband. So we wake up in the middle of the night, and the bedroom, the way it's set up, our bed is against the far wall that you can see out into the alley at. So we wake up, and the whole wall is just sopping wet. The bed is sopping wet that I'm laying against. Yeah, so like
wet.
So wet as can be.
Was it like with translucent?
Like water. Like water.
Water.
Like so water. And
like,
you can see it, you can feel it. No, girl. No, girl. I'd be done.
You got a burger. You need the Jesus.
I love it. I need the Jesus. Yeah, so like I wake up my husband, and at that time we were in college. That was like when Banana Joe's was a big thing, and all, you know, so we had been out. So I'm like, I'm dreaming, like I'm making this up. So I wake him up, and I'm like, what's going on? And like, he's a very logical person, so he was like, there's a leak.
That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, it's a water leak.
He's like, it's a water leak. So he was the maintenance man for his grandfather's building at the time. So he's like, oh, and he gets his like big string of keys out, and they're like rattling, and we're throwing some clothes on to go investigate to figure out what this is on the 6th floor. And if you guys didn't know it or not, I'll backtrack a little bit. The 6th floor hasn't been in use for many, many years because there was a death that occurred up there. And it never, I got to choose my words here wisely, because it didn't play out the way that it should have played out legally. The wife of a lawyer was killed or died. In the law firm that was on the 6th floor.
I did read that when I was kind of recapping today about that, about the 6th floor.
So allegedly, she was murdered on the 6th floor, and from my understanding, the husband was having an affair with his secretary, and they were having their annual Christmas party down in the lobby.
A man having
Really?
an affair
Right.
with his secretary?
Right, exactly.
That's the first time I've ever
So
heard that
apparently and allegedly, wife figured it out and was mad and stormed up to the offices trying to catch them in the act.
Yeah.
Red-handed.
And now she's dead. So do with that what you will.
Yeah.
That happened. She definitely died.
So the sixth
yada
floor is
yada.
closed off now?
So the sixth floor has been closed off for years and years. It actually is being in use now, but it's
Yeah.
the first time in many, many years.
Well,
Actually,
I read that there had been some renters that had moved in up there, but
And moved out
it
very quickly.
Moved out very quickly.
yeah, the space
due
would
to
rent because it was a
disturbances.
great space.
Yeah.
And the sixth floor. So the way it was set up, half of it was the original hotel, and half of it was law office space.
Okay.
Okay.
So half of it had been renovated, half of it had not. So we get up there at the time. No one's renting it. No one had been in it years. And there's this really long hallway that goes back to this little bitty door.
Shining. That's
Yes.
exactly what I
There's
think
this
of.
long hallway that goes back to this little bitty door that goes to the old place where the luggage was stored.
Okay.
So there was like a little cubby, like little cubbies built all over along the wall, and each room, because like when you would come to the Fredrick Hotel, when you got there, your aide, assistant, helper, whatever, servant at
Yeah.
the time would unpack you, put your stuff in the dresser, do all that, and then take all your luggage up to the sixth floor and store it for you so that you didn't have it in your way.
in your room to
Yeah.
trip over. Yeah.
So we're trying to get to that point because that's above our apartment, and we're trying to figure out where this water's coming from. So we get up there, and as we're going down the long hallway, every light that we went under did not just go out. They dimmed, and as soon as we were at like a certain amount of time, like under it, the next one would start, and that one would light back up.
Shit.
Man.
She's over here like bullshit.
It's
Man.
crazy,
Man.
and I didn't know. And believe me,
Ooh.
I did not believe in any of this stuff.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
like, I'm
ooh.
telling my husband, which was not my husband at the time. I'm like, I don't know if I'm down for this. I was like, I think I need to go back, but I'm so scared that I'm afraid to
You're
leave
not
his
going
side.
by yourself.
I'm not going by myself.
Uh-uh.
So he's like, no, come on. He was like, it's just a leak. We've got to figure it out because it's going to get worse. It's going to do damage. You know,
Yeah.
he's thinking of the maintenance man mindset, you know.
Wow.
So he's like, we got to find this leak. And I'm like, no, this is not for me. And I'm like almost in tears. And I'm like, this is freaking me out. So then it starts getting colder. And this is summertime. So it's getting colder and colder. And I'm like, this is not okay. None of this adds up. Like, this is not for me. Brandon, let's go back. And he's like, come on, like, quit being a pussy, basically. And let's just go.
Sounds like something I'd say to you,
Yeah.
Sam.
That's
Get your ass
exactly
down
what
that
she said.
hallway.
So we get through this little door and we get to the old part, and this is the first time I'd ever been to the old part, like the hotel, the original part of the
Wow.
thing. And we look and we search, and it's not scary. For me, it was more cool because it was so historical.
Yes, I love
it was
history.
so cool. So like I wasn't scared once we got in there, and like the lights weren't dimming anymore or anything crazy. But we look everywhere. There's not a leak anywhere. So at that point, we're like, okay, like let's go back downstairs and see if there's something else we're missing here because
God.
the blankets are wet, the walls wet,
Everything's
whatever.
soaked.
So we get down to our apartment, nothing's wet. Nothing's wet.
You come back and nothing's wet.
Nothing's wet. Nothing at all. The wall does not have the water dripping down it, like nothing.
I have questions.
Okay.
Hold on. I have
She's
Yeah.
like, I have questions.
so many questions. How
I still
much-
have questions.
So many questions, but I'm going to ask a couple. What, that morning when you got up, were they soaked? Are you saying they were soaked?
That's what woke me up.
That's
Like the comforter was soaked. Like I could feel the water on me, on my body.
Okay. That's all I have. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never
She
mind.
was like,
have
never
No, I
nothing
could
else.
feel it.
Nothing else.
I
have
could
nothing
feel it.
else.
Like it was crazy. And like I never believed in any of this stuff. So we get back down to the apartment and we wake up his sister, which she's a skeptic too. So we wake her up and she's like, you guys are crazy. You've been drinking, whatever. You know, she's just ignoring us like we're absolutely fucking nuts. And we tell her all about it and we're like, whatever. And it gets quiet. Like we're all just kind of like standing there like, what do we do now? It's the middle of the night and we're all awake. And we hear footsteps, women's high heels walking on very distinctly. Like you can't mistake a woman walking in heels on a wooden floor. Like you just can't.
Yeah, it's a very distinct
And-
sound.
Okay, and this is a serious question. Is she running? Is she moving fast? Is she going
No, she's
slow?
just walking.
Is she dragging a foot or anything?
She's just gracefully walking.
Gracefully walking.
She's just gracefully walking.
Oh my
And she's walking back and forth,
Oh,
back and
no,
forth.
No, she isn't.
And so my husband, again, not husband at the time, boyfriend, so I'm thinking you're freaking crazy person. What am I doing here with you? Like, I should go back to my home. So he's like, we got to go back up there. Somebody's gotten in.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
You went alone.
no. I'm like, I am not going to. He's like, yeah, you are. I need somebody to hold the flashlight. Blah, blah, blah.
Because he's scared.
So
He's
he
scared
drags
too.
me.
He's
Yes.
scared
So
too.
he drags me back up there, and we're looking, thinking like kids have broken in, because that's a big thing at the Fredrick is like people want to break in and wander around and things like that.
and
They really do,
explore.
and people
Yeah.
live there, and that's what's kind of crappy about it. The same happens like during prom season. Everybody wants to take their pictures inside at the
Oh,
lobby and
yeah.
stuff like that, and people don't realize they're not being hateful by saying like you can't come in here and take pictures.
Yeah.
There's just
be
people,
respectful.
Well, there's people that live there. Like they don't
Yeah.
want to come down in the lobby to come and go, and there's
Right.
80 people because
Yeah, be
every kid
respectful.
getting a picture has a grandma, a grandpa, an aunt, and
Yes,
uncle,
I
Their whole
mom, dad,
damn
siblings.
family.
They can't just like come in there with 3 people, so it becomes a thing. But yeah, so we go up there. We can't find anything. We never found any doors unlocked, anything. The wall is still dry by the time we make it back to the apartment. And that was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. And that's the night that I believed or started to believe in ghosts.
That you were like legitimate.
And from that point on, it was like, and I never felt scared. I mean, I was scared that night, just like in the moment, because it was my first experience of it all. But like after the fact, I've never been scared again. I've had things happen, and it's like I would get to the point where I would just talk to them. I'd be like, can y'all just leave me the fuck alone today? Like, can we just not?
Can we not?
Can we not today?
not?
Like, I had a rough day. I had college today. Like, I had classes
we
all
not?
day. Like, can we just not today? But yeah, it was my first experience of really believing in the afterlife and knowing that something exists. And that's like when I got really into like the history of the Fredrick, and like, because for me it was just like, oh, this is just a building that my boyfriend's family owns. you know?
Yeah.
I wasn't from Huntington. I didn't know. I didn't realize the history there, and I didn't, when I was living there, I did not take advantage of the situation the way I would now if
the
I
way you
lived
would
there
now.
now.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
So hindsight, it is what it is. But yeah, that was the moment that made me believe in the afterlife for sure. For sure.
So I was going to my mom, and I've said this story before on the podcast, but the only thing that I've really had happen to me was I was at my mom and dad's house, and they live in Wayne, but
Okay.
way out Wayne.
Way out Wayne.
Not just out Wayne, but way out Wayne.
Way out Wayne, yes.
Way up on a hill and no neighbors.
Gotcha.
And
It's the ideal place to be.
Yes, it's a wonderful place. But
Unless it's dark.
yeah, unless it's dark. And I come home at now if it's dark, it's a totally different scenario.
Absolutely.
But I was, and we have those Appalachian roots, Coach. So
Yes.
I know things that you don't do. And if you hear somebody yell your name from
No,
the
you
woods in the
didn't.
middle of the night, no, you didn't. Well, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
That's what her dumbass does.
Yeah. So I get out of my car, my little Saturn STL.
Yeah, I love it.
My little Saturn car, because it's 1999
Yes.
or 2000, and I'm super cool.
Yes.
That's not true. I'm
That's not
super
true.
cool, but
But you felt it every time
I
you got
felt
behind the wheel of that
so
car.
cool. Coming home
Yes.
from the Walmart, because that's where I worked at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the door, walking, and from the driveway to my mom and dad's house is not close. It's not
Okay.
that close. So you have to walk across the big yard. And I get out, the door shuts, and I hear Samantha, and
Like clear as day.
clear as day.
Uh-uh.
I turned around and said, "What?" And immediately I was, "Why'd you do that?" And I took off running.
My heart, yes, my heart
Took
just
off
stopped.
running because I said, "What?"
Yes.
There was nothing. It was pitch black. There was nothing there. And I can't explain it. My mom and dad's in the house. Nobody else lives there. It's just,
Right.
and I mean as plain as day.
Were you
Yes.
intoxicated?
I don't believe so. But I was
She's like, I
working
think
at-
I just got off work.
But I was working at the Walmarts, and sometimes those nights were rough. So it could have been alcohol-induced paranoia.
So you remember seeing the thing at
listen,
Waverly? We did a tour at Waverly.
Okay.
Down in
I've never been.
Louisville or whatever.
Yeah, I've never been.
We've done,
twice.
yeah. So we did.
I'm such a sissy that
See
like
a
I'm
few
I'm
things.
afraid that I will see things, so that's why I
saw
haven't.
something, but
We
I
did.
I think there's an explanation for it. Even with me hearing my name, I think it was my brain playing tricks on you. Like if we turn out the lights right now and it's completely 100% dark,
Right.
within so many minutes, you'll actually start seeing light. There's no light. Your brain
Right.
will,
It adapts.
it adapts to that
Right.
stuff. So I think that my brain, maybe that night it was on the vodka at Mom.
It was on the vodka.
Maybe it was
on the
I don't
vodka.
know. I don't think I was, but we're talking 20 years ago.
Right.
But at Waverly,
Yeah, we did a tour. There was probably 12 of us. I don't know. We took 2 carloads.
Nice.
And on one of the floors, you know how the building's made. It's kind of like a U.
Yes.
So, and it's got those big windows that they used to open and let fresh air, come through for tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, yes.
One of the parts of the tour is you hold your hands out, you walk down to the end of the wing, you stop, and you walk back.
It has to be as
one
long
person.
As a football field. I'm not exaggerating.
I believe it.
So
That's a big place.
Humongous.
That's a big place.
So the person gets down there, turns around, and starts walking back.
Well, hold on. You got to set this up. There's slats.
Those windows.
There's windows with the glass busted out, and it really was a legit full moon that night.
Yes, like you could see.
So you could see. So when somebody was walking, and I'll let you finish, but when somebody was walking,
so you go through it at night for the tour.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was midnight.
Oh,
so you walk,
girls,
where
y'all are way more brave than I.
Where those moonlight was coming in, and then it wasn't. You could see them, you couldn't. You could see them, you couldn't. You could see them, you couldn't. It was like strops where the moonlight was coming.
Yeah,
you could see them walk in front of the window, and you could see their shadow on the wall.
And then it would be away because there was nothing there.
But as they turn around and come back,
so it's full blown, not a shadow in general. Like you're seeing a person and their shadow.
Yes, you can see the person. We know who it was.
Okay.
You see the person walk back. You see their shadow up on the wall, but behind them, following them, is a big ass black shadow that follows directly behind them, and there's nothing there.
No, thank you.
And the shadow keeps getting bigger
as you get closer.
Like it's enclosing on them. Yeah.
And then it was like it was on their body, and their shadows started getting bigger and bigger. It scared me so bad that
it kind of took them over
because they had people on this end of the. I'm not even going to call it a hallway. It's a corridor. I mean,
that building's huge.
There's people here and there's people here. So they come from here. They meet in the
middle, and then walk back
to each group.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're over here at this group, and I'm hunkered down, like I'm squatting, kind of like I'm peeing in the floor.
Yeah.
Because people behind me, they want to watch too.
Everybody wants to see.
And everybody's
you're popping a squat. Yeah, for sure.
It scared me so bad because I couldn't believe what I was seeing that I tried to get up, and when I did, I kicked my foot like this. Honey, I took everybody. I mean, we were all sprout out right there, and I was like, "Well, this is it, Jesus. I'm coming to meet you.
It's time. It's time."
I mean, I knocked us all down.
That's
hard.
so funny.
Yeah.
Hard.
But that terrifies me though, because that's a big thing that kind of got me in the Fredrick was shadows and being followed. And again, I never felt
threatened.
I don't think they were there to hurt me. And I've never heard of a story in the Fredrick from anyone of where they felt fearful. So I think the people who are trapped there, if you believe in it,
it's a residual haunting.
Yeah, I think they're there and they don't mean any harm.
I read that you could hear, you could hear the footsteps. They said you can hear little kids playing in the restaurant.
Yes,
one said you
story.
can hear the keys jingling, like a
kids
maintenance guy.
Yes.
Listen, I've eaten a mini
running around and playing.
I've eaten a mini
at the
mashed
21.
potato at the 21.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you been in there by yourself?
In the restaurant, they frown upon that, I'm sure.
Well,
could you imagine the cooks coming in to get ready and there I stood?
I did boudoir photos inside the restaurant. I did boudoir photos in the restaurant.
No, you did
yes,
not.
I did.
Did you?
That's awesome.
Yes, so I have been in there by myself, and it's creepy. It's very creepy because that's all original. So, yeah.
I love that restaurant.
Oh, it's so good.
I've been there
and for the record, I didn't do anything questionable. So
I've never been in the Fredrick.
So we're going to go, I think after we record, we're going to go wander around a little bit and try to get we need to get a real good tour. We need to do it around Halloween is what we need to
absolutely.
do. Well, let's do that. Let's plan on it in October.
Yeah.
But let's wander around today, for sure.
Oh, I'm totally wandering around today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Let's do it.
All the things you're going to allow me to do.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
I got my good comfy shoes on, girl. I'm ready.
Good.
She got her runners on.
I love it.
I'm ready.
I love it. I love it so much. All right.
awesome.
Well, girls, I know time flies when you're having fun,
know,
but
it
we're
does.
like an hour and 4 minutes into this
That's
thing.
insane.
Which it doesn't even feel that way, but
know,
we
it
are.
doesn't.
So
It's
I
fun.
guess we need to tell our listeners goodbye and take our happy asses to the Fredrick.
That's right.
So do you have an outro that you do?
I used to. We Are Out of Here, and it was kind of like a play on the Marshall and Time Machine and all the things like the We Are, you know.
Yeah.
But I quit doing it when WG passed, so
yeah, you gotta come up with something.
I need to come up with something, or I need to start doing it again. Do you guys have an outro?
We do.
We do.
Well, do your outro.
Okay.
That's how we'll end it.
Y'all be safe.
Well, you got to do
A what?
The whole
The
spiel.
whole spiel?
You gotta do the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta
So
do
if
it.
you guys are new to Watch Reader Podcast, go follow us on Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram, TikTok, all of those things at Watch Reader Podcast. Email us your stories or any questions that you may have at watchfordearpodcast@gmail.com. Y'all be safe and watch for deer.
Oh, I love it. Bye, guys.